This is the driver for Lab 4. It's a pretty long driver. And so if we read through the driver, let's see what we do. We enter feet, we get the feet, we enter inches, we get the inches, and we create a new feet and inches object. And then we output it. So let's imagine that feet 1 was 3 and inch 1 was 20, because nobody told me I can't have more than 12, so I'm going to put 20. And then I get a new feet and inches object. Well, if I look at my feet and inches here, my constructor takes care of that, because the feet in my constructor is going to be 3 plus, so I've got F and I, and F was 3 and I was 20. So my feet is going to be F, that's 3, plus I/12, and 20/12 is 1. And my inches, sorry, not easy to write with a mouse, inches is going to be I mod 12. I mod 12 is 8. So altogether this is 4 feet 8 inches. Is this right? Yeah, it was 3 feet and then I added another 1 foot 8, so it became 4 foot 8 inches. So my constructor helps me a lot with reworking the feet and inches to make inches less than 12. And we're going to take advantage of that a lot today. So let's go back to our code. So that was F. This is called F, and I printed it out. So this is my this is my first object. Let's write here objects. It was 4 feet and 8 inches. Okay, now I'm asked for an integer. And that integer could be anything. Let's make it something small. And let's imagine it's 3. And we've called it num. So now we've got num. And num is, say, 3. What am I going to do now? Feet inches m, so I've created a new object called m. And it's f.multiply num. So multiply is a method that I need to write, and it's going to take as parameter this 3. And what it needs to do is take this 3 and multiply f, because it's acting on f. F is this object. So it's going to take the 3 and act on f here to produce something called m, which we're going to then print out. So what does it mean to multiply 4 feet 8 by 3? So if I have 4 feet and 8 inches and I multiply it by 3, I could multiply the feet by 3 and get 12, and the inches by 3 and get 24. But then I have to figure out that 24 inches is 2 feet, so it becomes 14 and 0. And quickly, is that the right answer? Yep. 3 8s are 24, so carry 2. 3 4s are 12, 14. So that is the answer that I'm looking for. So all I have to do is multiply the number of feet and the number of inches by 3. Or by num. You have to instantly add the accessors and mutators here. But let's write this multiply, which seems not too difficult. So public, it's going to return something. And if I look back at this, it returns a feet and inches object. So it's going to return a feet and inches object. Its name is multiply. It takes a parameter, and what it needs to do is multiply the feet and inches by n. So how do I say the feet and inches of, in this case, f? I can't say f's feet, but I have a good word, and it's this. Let me just write this for a minute because I'm going to get it all wrong. I was saying feet, right? So f2, say, equals this dot feet Now what does this mean? If I go back to my code here, this is the object that the method is working on. So this method is working on f. So when I say this, I mean f. So this is f's feet and f's inches, which we know right now is 4 and 8. I want to multiply them both by num. I could probably do it in the same line. But just so that you see the logic, well, no, I'll just do it in the same line. I'm going to multiply it here. Okay, so now we've got f2 is 12 in this case, and in2 is 24. I need to make a new feet and inches object. And return it. And So I made a new object and I put F2 and into as parameters for my feet and inches object. And you remember that F2 was 12 and into was 24. But this constructor is going to alter it so that it becomes 14 feet and 0 inches. Do we trust that? Let's comment out the rest of our code here. And let's run it. And we said 3 feet, 20 inches, and that became 4 feet 8. And we wanted to enter a 3. 4 feet 8 inches multiplied by 3 is 14 feet and 0 inches. So our constructor did a lot of the work for us. We don't even, I mean, we could combine this into just a couple of lines of code. We could say feet, inches, hence equals new feet, inches object. And what am I going to put in here? I'm going to put n times this dot feet and n times this dot inches. And this would work too. It even works if you remove the word. This is a keyword. It's a keyword because it's, you can see it's a keyword because it's coming up in blue. But you can actually remove this keyword and just do feet and inches, and it will still work. It's good to have the this just to remind you which object it's working on. So that is multiply. Divide is not so easy if you want to divide it by 3. You don't typically say 3 into, well, maybe you do. 3 into 4 is 1, and 1 foot remaining, which is 12 inches. Add to 8, that's 20 inches. Divide by 3, that is 6, because we're in an integer division. Personally, what I do is convert everything into inches. So 4 times 12, 48, plus 8 is 56 inches. 56, divide that by 3, and I get 1, remainder 2, 3 into 26, 3 eighths are 24. And then if you used your constructor, with a 0 for the feet and whatever inches that was. In this case, it's the 18. It would make a new feet and inches object, and it would make that 1 foot 6 inches because it'll fix it for you. So again, your constructor is going to help you on the divide. The add and subtract are different. I want to say something about the subtract maybe first. The subtract, I converted everything in each object into inches, subtracted them, made myself a new result with a 0 in feet and whatever I had in inches, and then returned that. So I see I had a lowercase here, but I'm sure you know what I mean. So that's the way I had it subtract, but I do want to just look at the syntax for the add. Public is going to return a new feet and inches object. Its name is add. And as a parameter, it's going to take a feet inches object. Let's call it A. So parameter of feet inches object. Let's look at the driver for a minute on the add. Here is our add. So I'm going to return a feet inches object, and I've got an add with a parameter that is a feet inches object. Here it was a G. I'm going to add the G. So I'm going to take the F and I'm going to add the G. Something like 4'6" plus 2'1". So the F is a feet inches object, and your parameter is also a feet inches object. So how do I say that here? You remember I can grab the number of feet in my object, my F object, because I can say something like this equals this dot feet. I can grab the inches, but what do I do about this buddy? Well, this parameter, its name was A, so int f2 is A's feet, and int in2 is A's inches. So I can grab all of my information here, and then I can add them together. So if I add this feet, F1 plus F2, that's A's feet, I've got the total feet. If I add this inches in 1 plus A's inches in 2, if I add those two together, I've got the total number of inches. And now I can return the whole thing. So I can return let me do it in 2 steps, but I can do it in 1, but let me do it in 2. So feet inches, answer is due feet inches F1 plus F2 comma in 1 plus in 2. And then I just return it. So that was my add. Hopefully now you can do the subtract and the divide. Yes. So you can work with Zybooks. Again, the issue there is that you cannot comment out the parts of the driver that you're not using to at least get the partial answer. Whereas NetBeans will help you. If you do that, then once you have finished here in NetBeans, you need to copy it. So you'll have to copy from here. I think part of it is already in NetBeans, in Zybooks. Just copy the part that's missing and then run it.